Filtering and showing your data by months is very easy, especially if you have a column for months. The difficult part is, what if I want to automatically show the data for the past 30, 45, 60 days and so on? This is much more difficult because your reference date, which is today, will change all the time. So in this video, I'm going to show you a trick to be able to do this. You can apply it to your data set. It will involve pivot tables and only 3 lines of VBA code. If you are scared about VBA, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to copy paste those lines of codes and forget about them. So let's go. I went to the internet to download the stock price of Amazon since 2018, so I have a lot of data points, and my puzzle consists of 2 pieces. Part number 1 is, how do I include the right data points into my pivot table and pivot chart? In this case, I want 30 days of data. And number 2, as you know, pivot tables, they do not refresh automatically. So how do I automate the process in case I change the rolling days or today's date? Let's attack the first problem. I'm just gonna get today's date, and that's super simple. Equal today, open close parentheses, press enter. You get the 3rd of June 2023. How do I include the right data points? First of all, let's subtract 30 days from this date. So is equal to this date minus 30. If you didn't know, dates are like numbers. So every time you add 1, it's adding 1 day. Every time you subtract 1, it's removing 1 day. And for the hours, it will be fractions. But for our case, if I just subtract 30, I get the 4th of May 2023. So any date that is equal to this 4th of May or bigger, I want to include. For example, I want to include this one. So that's very simple. I can use this in an if formula. So is equal to if, open parentheses, f1 minus f2. In this case, I'm going to use f4 just in case I want to drag the formula. I want to keep the same references. So if this subtraction, which is the 4th of May, is smaller or equal than, in this case, the 2nd of June, I want to include this data point, otherwise I don't. So there we go, press enter, and you see a yes. If I just double click, you see a lot of yeses until we reach the first no, which is the 3rd of May 2023. And that makes sense. So this is the formula. I don't need this anymore. Now, if we click inside, insert our pivot table, I want it in an existing worksheet. Let's put it here, press enter, you get the pivot table. Let's add the date in the rows and the price in the values. I get a nasty surprise. I get the year, the quarter, the months, and so on. I don't want those. So what to do in this case? Let's send them to the garbage. That's my year, that's my quarter, that's my months, and I get the right dates. And in this case, I have everything. So what to do? I will take include, put it in the filters, and get only the yes. Press OK, check the table, and you only have the right dates in this table. Now we can draw a chart. So go to insert after clicking inside the pivot table. Let's add this type of chart. There we go, let's put it here. I'm just gonna close this window, and this chart needs space. It cannot breathe. So we're gonna get rid of those. Right click, hide all field buttons on chart. We have a bit more space. Click on this one, press delete, and here let's write Amazon, Ctrl A, go to home and make it bold. This is our chart, perfect. The problem is if I change this to 45, it doesn't update. I have to right click, refresh, and it will update. That's not nice. This is where we're gonna use VBA to solve our problem. You're gonna see it's so easy. It's just 3 lines of codes. We're gonna do it step by step. So first, Alt F11. You get your Visual Basic editor. It has to look like this. Now, on this side, you will see sheet 1, etc. You might have other things, doesn't matter. The most important thing is you need to double click on the sheet that has today and rolling days. In my case, it's data plus pivot, so it's sheet 1, double click, we have it here. Now, I will go on top, click on worksheet, I get this gibberish, I don't want it, I go here and select a change event. Let's remove the one that I don't want, which is this one. And what does this event do? Basically, if I change the target, which is one of those cells here, I can ask VBA to do something. So for example, if my target is F1, if something changes in F1, then I can trigger my code. Let's go back to our Visual Basic editor, and in my case I want to refresh my pivot table in case I change F1 or F2. So I'm gonna write if target.address is equal to double quotation, $F, $1. In case you have other cells, just replace this with whatever cell you have, or let's just copy paste, as simple as this. Here we have F2, let's write then, and if. So those are 2 lines out of 3. The third line is I need to refresh. The code to refresh everything in your workbook is active workbook.refresh all. You just type this, you are done. I don't want to see VBA. So now, if I come and change this to 60, for example, it will trigger my code automatically, and there we go, this will refresh, and automatically my chart will refresh.